Hey everybody, it's Brian. Now listen, we have a Patreon for this show, which you can find at patreon.com/late night. And right now on that Patreon, you can listen to a very special episode where Leighton, Jarek, and I go to the Panda Express Innovation Kitchen in Pasadena. We recorded ourselves in the car on the way there while eating our special Panda Express food. And on the way back, it's not sponsored or anything. We just thought it'd be weird and fun. Turns out the audio quality was a little rough. So we put it on the Patreon as a special episode. It's really fun, and I recommend you check it out. Also, every week on our Patreon, if you're there at the $5 tier or up, you get access to our mini episodes. And what you're going to hear today are two of these from the distant past, which we've decided to put out on the main feed. But if you like these and you want to hear them real time, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/late night, and sign up at the $5 tier or above. Enjoy the episode, and thanks as always for listening. All right, everybody, welcome to Talkin' Tar. This is your host, Brian Wecht. I'm here with my co-host of Talkin' Tar, Leighton Gray. And
Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, Chris Hardwick. Points!
Wait, hold on. First order of business, because we left off on a cliffhanger last week.
Yeah.
What did you send me? Yeah,
tell everyone the thing I texted you that I thought I was texting my wife.
Brian texted me a recipe card for a little thing called sweet corn spoon bread.
Yep, because it is one of my favorite Thanksgiving things to have. And now we're just making Thanksgiving for my immediate family. But I'm still
right.
So if you don't know what spoon bread is, it's like, imagine a corn muffin, but wetter.
But like a little chunk. There's a chunky.
Yep. So you get it's like cream corn and corn muffin mix, and it's really good.
Hold on real quick. I have to point out here that in terms of like kitchen staples that you should have, just, for things that are like cheap and will serve you well, Jiffy corn muffin mix, Jiffy blueberry muffin mix. If you don't have, they're cheap as shit, they last forever.
Yep.
You can do so much stuff with them. It's not
so
just
good.
They're so good. Even just doing it like vanilla, and I just doing it regular like the box says, it is great. But you can use it for other things. You can use it for breading. I've made like cobbler out of the blueberry. There's so much stuff that you can do with it. Like, it's a great base. Very like early mid-pandemic, I was like all about the Jiffy mixes. So just if people aren't in the know about the Jiffy mixes, that's the way.
We use them a lot in our house. A lot.
Oh yeah. Those blueberry muffins, and additionally, they take really well to modifications, like say that you don't have eggs or you don't have butter, or you don't have milk. You can make it with like substitutes and it's still delicious. Like applesauce, man. It'll do it. They're
absolutely.
Very moist.
I couldn't agree more.
Very like nostalgic, comforting. Just, I want some now.
Yeah. Well, if you were at our house for Thanksgiving, you would have had some. But unfortunately, Thanksgiving has come and gone.
Yep.
At least when people are hearing this, although we're recording it the week of.
Oh, that's true. Oh God, shit! I gotta go.
You know what I was thinking we should do? We'll have you and Jarek over for like a catch-up Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Which we will do the Thanksgiving shit, and it'll just be on a different day when nobody has COVID.
Neat. I like that.
Okay, cliffhanger resolved. Of course, Talking Tar is brought to you by Jiffy brand corn muffin mix. Sweet, delicious. Let me take that ad read again. Sweet, delicious Jiffy. Keep it in your kitchen, fucker. Thank you.
I'm going to try to minimize the laughing because it will send me right into coughing.
Well, luckily, go ahead.
To me is really funny. I love being at this. I mean, I don't love this, but I love being at this stage of sickness and find myself very funny when I sound like this, because my laughs get very like over enunciated and then just devolve into hacking, which is funny to me. So
well, I'm going to send you something that's probably going to make you laugh, and you're not going to be able to tell anyone what it is.
Okay.
This is a picture I just found on my phone from a couple years ago.
Okay, go off. I love this. This is my favorite thing to do on the show, is stuff that we do that we're just obfuscate from the audience, so it's a mystery.
Yep.
Really fulfills my inner like mean childhood mean girl or something.
Yeah. Well, you should have this now. I made that.
Okay, you can't say it. I know you can't say anything about it, but why do you have this?
Now this, I know I've sent this to you before. I'm going to send you another one. This is my favorite picture of me and Dan.
Okay.
And this one I've definitely posted. And I believe you have seen it before.
I'm like watching the text thread and I'm still seeing that first image and I can't.
All right, you should have this.
Oh my God. Yep.
So this was on top. We were on tour in Vegas, and we were on top of the Rio because we had taken the whole crew out to dinner. And someone took a picture of me and Dan where I look like I am. I mean, drunk is an understatement. I was definitely not. It's just like caught me at a bad moment. But yeah. It's the most unflattering angle imaginable, and I look sweaty and drunk.
I think it is more so you really look, this is the most turtle I've ever seen. Yes. You.
Dan looks great. Dan looks awesome in this picture.
He looks totally with his normal. Fun little Night Runner shirt and in Vegas, and you're just like you almost look photoshopped.
I do. I think this picture is so funny. Okay. Anyway, sorry to make you hack. But look, the reason
I was
that
already a hack.
The reason we convene every week on Talkin' Tar, brought to you, of course, by Jiffy Brand corn muffin mix, sweet, delicious, wet Jiffy. If you don't have it, you can go fuck yourself. The reason we convene every week on Talkin' Tar is to talk about the movie Tar, starring Cate Blanchett, and I believe written and directed by Todd Field. Field?
I don't know.
Fields? I can't remember. So I recently on this show, although I guess it was maybe a month ago, I came out hard for Tar and said it was one of my favorite movies I'd seen in a long time. And did I say that? I think I said it on the podcast.
Yeah,
if not, I definitely
you were very emphatic and talked about it not only on a main episode but also on a mini episode.
Okay, cool. And now you have seen Tar.
Well, see, let me back up a little bit because, we record our episodes, and with the way that things have been going, it's like we listen and give notes on the episodes right afterwards. So I was like, for a little bit, it was just a lot of Brian talking about Tar. And I did as I normally do when people emphatically recommend, like people whose opinions I care about emphatically recommend something to me, which is completely ignore it.
Correct.
And tell myself that I'm not going to engage with it for the next 5 years.
Yep.
I was like, okay, cool. I mean, this sounds interesting, but I'm not going to go to the movies. Then I get sick. Then I have a for some reason, like Dayquil knocks me out exactly the same way that NyQuil does, which led to some really disgusting, like 6-hour sick naps where I'd wake up with, the worst. Sound like the wheezing sounding like spray paint bottle when you shake it. Not good. But in one of them, I had a dream that I saw Tar and it was great. And I really liked what I saw in my dream. Could I transcribe exactly what it was? No, but it was very enjoyable. And I was like, fuck, God damn it, I have to watch Tar tonight. And I paid the stupid, like, I disagree with paying full boat for a thing that I'm going to stream on my computer.
Yeah.
And I did my due diligence and attempted to find ways in which to not pay for it, if you know what I mean. Not very lucrative path for anybody considering going down that path. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm sick. It's not like I'm doing anything else. I want to watch this movie. A treat.
It's really great, right?
I really enjoyed it. I was like spoiled on it, and including like that end beat, which is fine. But
so you knew where that was going.
Yeah, and almost that enhanced it and like the farcical quality of it more. I just love watching Cate Blanchett be gay.
Oh my God.
This and Carol.
Yeah. Yep.
Those cheekbones. I mean, that's basically my Letterboxd review, which all Letterboxd reviews are just, I want to fuck this person.
Yep. Well, that's she's hot. Go. There's no denying that. And
she's hot, and she's in suits.
She's in suits and very professional dress.
And it's so nice to not like, you know, we're ignoring a lot of the larger things about the movie at this moment, but having like the female protagonist not be in high heels and be like professionally dressed, I was like, wow, she's wearing normal shoes.
Normal
exciting
shoes. Yep. It's, by the way, okay, listen, everybody, spoilers. If you haven't seen Tar, we're talking about it. Like, I don't want to hear that we spoiled the movie. It's going to happen.
Sorry, that's the mini today. We are talking about the film Tar because it's called Talking Tar, sponsored by Jiffy Muffin Mix. Mm-hmm. I don't have a snappy.
You don't? Okay.
I don't. Do you have a snappy?
Leave it open for you. Yeah. Let's see. Do I want to keep being aggressive? Yeah. You know what? I'll use my favorite term of endearment. Jiffy Brand corn muffin mix. Get it, fucko.
Fucko is so inherently more aggressive than fucker.
Yes, it is.
Because if somebody calls me a fucko, it's like, okay, I don't trust you. Like, it's like the people who are always saying heckin' good pupper and doggo. Those, if you say that around me, I don't trust you. If you call maybe a pupper or a doggo, 100%. You're not going to get to pet her. I'm sorry. She is a dog with a G.
I feel very strongly about internet pet speak, pupper, doggo, blep, all that stuff. That's a hard pass from me on all of it. I may agree with the sentiment, but the language is very off.
Well, and I say this, and literally every single time I am driving or walking down the street and I see a little chihuahua, I'm immediately like, it's a little guy. Oh my goodness. I love to see a little man. Like that tone. So yeah, I really am in no position to cast fucko stones.
You almost sounded for a moment there. Like, do you know? Okay, you're familiar with Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the scene where Eddie's in Toontown and he thinks he sees Jessica and he goes into the thing and opens up the door and the cartoon lady, it's not Jessica, and she goes, "A man!"
Yeah.
That's... When you said a little man, that was very close to that. God, I love that movie. Everything about that movie is great.
It's a very good movie. Oh, speaking of other movies, I'm sorry, this is Talking Tar, but I'm talking about other shit. Did you do the frame today?
No, I didn't. I'll look at it right now.
Do it.
Let's look. Well, I don't think I did it anyway. I guess it's always. Oh, okay. I'm seeing, let's see. Okay. It looks like they're catching marbles or something, and it feels very 80s or 70s even here. Are those marbles? I don't really know what this is. I'm going to guess. Could this be E.T.? God, I hope it's not. I'm going to guess E.T. Nope. Okay. Oh, Evening Report with Stanley Kell. Is this Network? Network is not in here? Oh, wow. Okay. It's not that. Shit. What could this be? Wow, this is definitely like, this feels very 70s to me.
I'm saying nothing.
Stanley Kail. I feel like I should know this. I feel like that's a reference to Pauline Kael, or at least an homage. So, Evening Report. This isn't Close Encounters, is it? Let's see. Nope. Oh, Lots of Candy. Oh, wait. Is this really? Is this Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Wait. Okay, which one is which? Yeah. What the fuck is this? I know what this is. With the fuck. Oh my god. Why am I not getting this? This is straight up embarrassing.
I wasn't expecting this to be a whole thing.
I know what this is. Oh, I know. This is frustrating. It's not. What? Let me look at number 3 again. What? That does say, or is it Willy Wonka in the? Yeah, I picked the wrong one. There it is. Fuck. I should have gotten that on 3. Okay.
Yeah, so the reason I brought this up is because frame one instantly knew what it was.
Okay.
And guessed the wrong Charlie
Just
or
like I
Willie.
did. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Uh,
it's counterintuitive. The one that is about Charlie is about
right.
is named Willy Wonka, and the one
Because I thought those were Wonka bars, and yeah, okay. Tim Burton, please stop making movies as an aside. But what was I going to say? Something else about Willy Wonka? Oh, I didn't realize until recently that this is they wrote the song "The Candy Man," like Sammy Davis Jr.'s big hit, for this movie. It's yeah, that's from this movie. This was the origin of that song. Who can take a rainbow? It's for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool. I actually earlier when I was listening to my spooky scary Fallout radio, they just included a snippet of the scene where they're going through the tunnel.
Oh my God.
It's just like I love
There's
this.
no earthly way of knowing that one.
Yeah.
You know. Is it raining? Is it snow? Oh, that's so great.
It's so great. And it was so perfect. Like they've picked so many good things to just toss in there. There's like a little bit of like Twilight Zone spoken word stuff. There's like, very over the top, like that classic Green Ribbon story, like scary story, like just super hammy. And then it'll just be some like out of nowhere, like blue, like dirty blues stuff. Like it's so enjoyable. Like Fallout 4 is not good and I have a lot of problems with it, but I've modded it beyond recognition, and so now it's very fun for me.
The sign of every classic video game.
Yeah, it's just I have to destroy it. Hold on, we're talking about Tar, but also I've been shut up and haven't been seeing people, and so I would like to share a little bit about my mod situation here.
Please.
You got your appearance mods so you can look cute. That's important. A fun one. I just love how specific some of these are and what a difference they make. There's one called Not Great, Not Terrible, Scarier Geiger Counter Sounds.
Which is it just clicking?
Well, you know how a Geiger counter sounds.
Yes.
Like it's in the base game, it's like kind of pretty ignorable, but the mod makes such a difference where it is like genuinely frightening. And because it just like screams at you and it's very loud and gurgly and you are constantly getting exposed to shit in Fallout. So it's just happening all the time. And then I also got one that makes the ghouls, like they're feral ghouls who run at you, gives them just like more fucked up audio. And now, in any other Fallout game, it's like, oh, ghouls. Okay, it's legitimately stressful because it's just like the Geiger counter is screaming and sounds very real. And then these things are just like gurgling at you and lurching out of the ground.
That's fun.
And then,
gurgling and lurching. My two favorite activities.
And then Caliente's beautiful bodies enhancer. Like a bunch of those. Which is nightmarish because like Fallout mods are famously for weirdos. Any game. I care about looking cute. I care about taking cute pictures in a game. I want those mods so I can wear like a crop top or whatever, but there's such a fine line of being a pervert where it's like, I just want some taste. I don't want everybody with balloon titties and their nipples poking out. It's the wasteland. Like it's not erotic. And then it's like, make everybody into an anime girl. And it's like, this is fucking weird, guys. This is weird. Anyway, a bunch of radio mods that add more lore friendly music. I had one for New Vegas that's like 60s Japanese surf rock, which is amazing. Somehow it works. Like somehow it fits into the environment. It works. Amazing.
I was going to ask, do you make your player look like you at all? Or is it just like...
I accidentally did that this time. But it's like very, very like bimbified. Yes. My approach was like, the game starts pre-war, right? Like you watch your
pre-apocalypse.
Yeah, it's like it's very conveniently immediately pre-apocalypse, and they do the whole like war never changes opening cinematic, but like then it's you choose your character, but it's either you be the guy who did the intro or your wife, and I hate that very much.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing wife, but going hardcore role playing with it, where it's like, okay, this is a stereotypical like 60s housewife who breaks bad. Let's go. And so she looks like Betty Draper. And I've been running with that. So to answer your question, yes, she does look like me, but I'm, it's extreme more. It's very anime. Anyway, what else did I get that's fun? A lot of furniture. It's like Animal Crossing and Fallout, which is kind of fun. It's like the systems to support it are kind of bullshit, but like it's fun. And then also one that's just called Sexy Hancock. So I'll leave it there.
Great.
It's like, look, all the companions in this game suck. At least make one of them slightly more attractive. All of their personalities are terrible. I'm sorry. You give me like the baked in companion who's like a spunky reporter lady, and I don't want to kiss her. Like, come on, guys.
Did you say I swear to God, I thought you said comedians.
No, companion.
I heard comedians when you said that.
Okay.
Wow. That's
but it's like, you're going to give me this spunky, fun female reporter who's trying to take down corruption, and like you've written her so badly that I just don't care about her at all, as opposed to I want to make her my wife. Bethesda. Miss Bethany Esda. Bad job. Anyway, who didn't do a bad job? Todd Fields.
Todd, yes, indeed. So I want to hear mainly about Tar. Did you... So not knowing much about classical music, did you feel at all out of the loop with it? I felt like it didn't go too hard.
No, I think it conveys those things really well, and I almost feel like because I read a review where somebody was like, I'm a classical composer student, and it's like, all right, so you're going to be obnoxious about this.
Probably.
And they were like, here's all these things that she's getting wrong, and everybody's acting like it's super genius, and it's like, I'm not a composer, but that's the fucking point of the movie. Yes, that's the point of the movie. Are you fucking kidding me? You're going to list the themes and the things that are happening in the movie like they're bad because... Ugh.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous criticism. Like...
Yeah.
Whatever.
I love missing
and also, look,
and making it other people's problem.
It did suffer, I'd say, and I guess this indeed was the point. It suffered from a thing that I have come to think of as the Mr. Holland's Opus problem, where this is exactly what you just said, and I'm just going to rephrase it poorly, but a thing is presented as oh my God, look at this amazing thing, and it sucks and is not what anyone would do, but whatever. It's
the narrative function of the thing that's the best.
Yes.
Like, and I think it conveys it well, especially considering that opening ramble essentially about having an EGOT. Like it's so
that was so funny.
I feel like that establishes the tone so immediately, and she's immediately just being like peak pretentious talking out of my ass about it.
Yes.
And like, I'm going to name drop so you don't pay attention to the fact that what I'm saying doesn't make sense.
100%. And I think it did like out of the gate with the fucking Adam Gopnik interview, like you're saying, is it immediately that scene read like a comedically to me.
Yes.
Right.
100%.
Because it's people taking themselves very seriously and in a way that immediately rings false, except the whole crowd is like, yes, interesting point. Of course. Chuckle appreciatively. Ha 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 ha. That was 100% played for comedy.
Yeah.
Undeniably.
And I think repeatedly throughout the movie, like a lot. I think it's, it ends on a comedy beat, but I guess I saw people saying that like that's almost out of nowhere. And it's like, no, it's not. Because the whole really movie is like that. It's just very explicit in that last beat.
I mean, I guess you could say that maybe, no, I'm not even gonna say this. The movie presents her as a ridiculous character, right?
Yeah.
She is, she is self-important. She's kind of an asshole. She treats people like objects. She's nowhere near as good as she thinks she is. She's just waiting to get taken down, which is precisely what happens.
Yeah.
As I was alluding to when I talked about this before, the only thing that felt weird to me, and maybe this was done as a comedy thing, was that first when she's teaching the like graduate class at Juilliard or wherever that was, the video that ends up getting cut up and leaked. That was like
Brian, this was the thing that I had locked and loaded and was ready to be like, this is the one thing that rang really false for me.
Right. Same. Exactly.
It's because of how it was edited. If it, that's a little class that she does is kind of bad enough on its own. If you just snipped around, you don't have to do the like really internet-y like chopping and screw. I almost feel like that takes away from the overall like impact of that, because it almost trivializes that further as being like the first stupid thing. And it's seen. Right. I mean, it's easy for her as a character to be like, oh, this is like edited. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
But when it is so explicitly edited, I don't know. It's not like a huge gripe or anything, but it was just sort of like, okay, this feels a little.
Yeah, it just felt false. And that one, the person that she like harangues and gets upset
as a BIPOC pangender individual,
and I was like, clearly an old white person wrote that line of dialogue.
Yeah,
like that it just felt false to me, and not in a way that it felt like it was meant to be. Maybe it was, I don't know, but that was the one thing. Yeah, one thing in the movie I was like, that just trying a little hard.
I think I had like an audible reaction to that line.
Yeah, exactly.
But for most of the movie, like I was chilling on my couch, but at a certain point, like maybe a quarter of a way through, I realized I was like physically like leaning forward and like actually not on the edge of my seat, but literally actually physically on the edge of my seat. And especially because of just how patient it is. I loved that we're just like fucking luxuriating in this. It felt the text itself is masturbatory, but the additional element of like Todd Field, whatever, like really just you're in it with me. Sorry, we're like this. Sorry, not sorry. We're just gonna do this now, okay? And it's gonna take a really long time.
But like I said before, I'm curious if you felt the same way. It like flew by for me.
Yeah,
it did. I was never like checking my phone to see how much longer it was going to be. Like I got out and I was like, that was almost 3 hours. Whoa, that felt like like 20 minutes or something, as opposed to the 20-minute shows where I'm checking every 2 minutes to see, is this thing finally fucking over?
Yeah. So something that like my experience of this movie is very impacted by 2 other movies. Actually more than 2 other movies. But are you familiar? I think I've popped it before, but the Michael Haneke, Isabelle Huppert, The Piano Teacher.
I've actually never seen that. Okay. I've been meaning to forever, but I've never seen it.
I think you would like parts of it. I think you would not like the overall thing. But as I have described it, Piano Teacher is Whiplash for sluts. That's what it is. And The Piano Teacher is Tar's more feral dumpster diving cousin. It's Tar is Michael Haneke's The Piano Teacher with smartphones. So that there's like stuff that is done here that, having seen it done in a different context in The Piano Teacher, I don't know. I actually don't even know where I was going with this. It's just like they're very interesting movies to be like paralleling each other. And it feels, parts of this movie feel very, very Michael Haneke in terms of like skewering upper class buffoonery and pretentious, knowing chortle stuff. And it's a very similar thing. Like, but in The Piano Teacher, she is like eminently qualified and good. And there's so much stuff that is like, I'm sure you as a pianist would probably have a better take, but like there's really interesting and specific piano stuff happening like through most of that movie. And like her character is genuinely really good, just has none of the charisma. And it's just like a fucking weirdo and sniffs tissues in the jerk off booth at porno stores and like goes and squats and pisses in a parking lot and then goes to do her little piano recital. It's great. I fucking love that movie. It's so good.
Just to interject here though, I do think so. What's it, Lydia Tarr? She is good. Like it's not like she's not good at what she does. She's just not as good as she thinks she is, right? Like she is definitely very, the character is not meant to be someone who's bad, who has been elevated to the point of people taking them very seriously. She's clearly very talented, knows what she's doing, is extremely competent, but nobody is as good as she thinks she is. Like, I think that's the point, is that she takes herself so seriously, and takes her career, more seriously than anything, which is, you could be the best fucking composer in the world and still you're not going to be at the level that she thinks she is. So I want to make it clear to people who haven't seen the movie that this is not an incompetent person who is given a position of power. It's just someone who thinks that she is the greatest person in the world.
Well, and truly that is the thing that is more common that it is commenting on. There are plenty of people who are absolute fucking buffoons who have a ton of power and money, but I think this is very wise to be pointing at the, like, yeah, they can be really, really talented. They can also be a complete and total fucker who is getting further elevated by the fact that everyone's just banking on how great, the cultural cachet of like how great they are.
That's right. Can you think now? Of course, it's hard to say, and this is a big part of the film. There's like the public facing and the private facing. Who are the people who are like in our current society? People who are out there who seem like they are not complete a-holes, but are nevertheless great. And I mean, the first person I would put up there is David Lynch, who is widely hailed as a genius and yet does not seem like a complete fucker. Can you think of anyone? Like,
that's the day. Like, this is my issue. We all indulge in that. I have my parasocial relationships with Daddy Lynch, etc. But it's this constant positioning of like, and this is not what you're trying to do, but this is the thing that annoys me, of like, oh, well, this person we found out they're bad. Anyway, this person who's perfect and has never done anything wrong. Oh my God, what? They're a bad person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, guys, stop. Like, there is obviously an issue where a lot of people are fuckers, but also at a certain point, I think people need to understand how much of like, they call it, like, in academic shit, they call this the star text, quote unquote star text, of everything that is like contained within the celebrity image of like, it's like the celebrity religious icon of a person. You can see this really well with like John Mulaney and the sort of like shit that sprouted up around him. That's, he is based on shit that he said and did, and his comedy and whatever, but so much of it was like parasocial.
Yes.
And then when the real person does not match up with the thing, it's like a complete and total rejection. Like, I'm waiting for, say, some Keanu Reeves story to come out, and then everyone's going to be like, oh, whoa,
actually, he's right.
Yeah. Or just like, once you reach a certain threshold of popularity, then everybody's just like looking for the thing.
Yes.
But I really love what I love about this movie, as somebody who is a woman who has had to deal with people like Tar, who are not women, and just, existing. Actually, what I'm saying here is, existing as a woman, you have met and, interacted with a person like this,
like a cult of personality type person.
Well, like a cult of personality, but also just somebody who's using like their professional status or age to like get hooks into you.
Yeah.
Like, it is a very real thing, and I think it is depicted so well in this. I think like
how she does it with the cellist.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Very much so. And the way that she treats her assistant, like, all of it is so spot on that, like, I care less about the sort of like quote unquote cancel culture nature of the narrative, like that 100%. Video.
Yep.
Where it's so like, yeah, this is exactly how this happens. And I think it depicts the way that you feel when that happens to you really well. Also, I mean, I guess it ends in bad ways for prominent person in this. But
in the real world often does not.
Yeah. But still, like, I really like seeing this I mean, I don't like seeing it, but it's good to see the specific dynamic that is often like the center of so many of these actual quote unquote conversations that are had about this, where it's like, I can't think of many other like groomy characters in media off the top of my head where like the story is about them being fucking weird and groomy towards people. So yeah.
It's interesting too. It's something that is not directly addressed in the movie, but is kind of hinted at, is this like, how do you get there, right? So she starts at some point. She goes to her childhood home, which is in this
Linda.
her real name is Linda, and it's like Staten Island, I think, or something. And she has her little like high school trophies up in her room or whatever.
Her putting the
And
medal on and
I
watching
know,
that video, it was so fucking good.
yeah. But what's interesting to me is the project, like you can kind of you see this pattern over and over, or you can imagine it, I should say, where you get a little bit of recognition, and as you keep getting more and more, you start to believe the hype, and then at some point, you pass some threshold where you're like, I guess I really am fucking good, hell yeah, and then you start to act like you deserve it more than other people. And and then there's this progression that some people go through where they start treating people like garbage. And to me, that's a very interesting phenomenon that happens to many famous people. This is not a subtweet, because it's not a tweet. That joke didn't land and I didn't expect it to. But this is like seeing, like, how do you go from, hey, I'm pretty good at something, to now I think I'm the best person in the world and all my successes deserve more than anyone else, and I'm just going to use everyone I can to keep this train rolling.
Well, because it
Yeah.
creates a certain mental architecture and
Right.
hierarchy where that
That's
base
right.
block of "I am good enough to deserve this," any acknowledgement that it is overblown and that you don't deserve all these things that are thrown your way is ripping off the foundation of that entire
That's
tower
right.
of career
That's right.
accomplishment, and so for people like that, where the ego is, like, a big issue and a big element of it, like, you can't rip away that cornerstone
No,
of it,
yeah,
or they crumble.
right. They crumble. That's right.
Um
Especially since, you know, someone at her level where she just has people deal with everything for
Yeah.
her, like she's kind of incompetent, right?
Yeah.
At least at
Yeah,
some
like a
crucial
baby
things.
in a way,
That's
like
right. Which I think happens to a lot of famous people, is
yeah,
you start getting staff and people to do stuff and suddenly you don't know how to do anything anymore.
yeah.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
the sort of, like, repudiation of the cellist at the end where, like, the cellist very, like, blatantly snubs her after the shit
yeah,
comes out, like, I thought
yep,
that was such a nice, like I don't know, it felt like a very subtle moment too, like, I thought that was just great. And also just sort of how, like, the youth and inexperience and sort of, like, susceptibility to somebody like Tar was portrayed, and, like,
yep.
sort of the, like, victim selection is not the way to put it, but that's essentially what it is, of, like,
Oh,
and you
100%.
see that everybody around her knows, like, and it's the
Yeah,
kind of
like
thing that's so difficult because when you are that girl, you don't know. And
that's
I
right.
think
You
this
don't
movie
know.
does
No.
so well of portraying the open secret nature of it, of, like,
I was
here,
just
all
about
of
to
these
say that.
people
Yes.
are adults with life experience who have seen this happen before. You are young and talented, like, we all see what's happening, but this is, like, considered normal, so
That's right. And the people are powerless to stop it. When she has the, "Oh, we're actually gonna open auditions for this thing,"
God.
and
That
it's
was
like this,
so fucking uncomfortable.
it is terrible, and you see this kind of thing happen all the time where it's someone has some weird fucking agenda, but they're gonna present it like it's, "Oh, I'm doing this for the good of everybody. Here's just what I
Mhm.
think." And the justification for it is presented in this very public, public forward
Yeah.
way, but it's just, to further some kind of weird personal agenda. I thought the movie handled that very realistically, and I was just like, yeah, I've seen people do this thing
Mhm.
where they present something as if it's for the common good, but it's just because they want whatever they want.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I want to see it again. I really liked it.
It
And
honestly,
yeah,
I feel like I could probably go a while without seeing it. I really liked it. It was not, like, my most favorite thing. I think it just made me I was like, "I wish I was watching The Piano Teacher." Like
oh, well, you were going to say there were two movies that it reminded you
oh,
of. Did you say the
Whiplash
second?
is the other one, but
Whiplash.
I
Okay.
feel like that is a pretty, like, like, surface level comparison.
Yeah, I think that's
which is like, it's a music movie and former student of like charismatic / shitty person killed themselves. Like, that's the main connection there for me. But I think part of it is because like Whiplash is such a, we're doing the music, like we're very intensely doing the music shit right now. Whereas this movie, you get sort of the glimpses of what she does.
Yeah, but not much.
As a composer. Yeah, it's not as like openly demonstrative. And it's the same way with Piano Teacher, where so much of it is just like, here's her being good at the piano. So I think it almost like this one feels so much more theoretical, isn't the way, I don't know. I'm like stumbling around. What you're saying. An idea.
The process, and maybe this is what the person you were talking about before was saying, the process of her composing where she's sitting down at the piano and she's like, and then the cellist comes over and is like, what about this note? And she's like, that's the one. It's like, what? No one would ever do that. That's not how that works. Like that process was kind of dumb, to be frank.
I almost feel like that further highlights, like, I make a lot of jokes about how I have a fake job just because like the shit that I do for my career is weird and varied and like, results to me not having like strict working hours or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think seeing that like very intentional repetition of her morning routine as she sits down to compose too, like, I think it makes it look so bullshit. Like, just wakes up, does the same shit every day, does barely nothing, gets all the praise for it, and it's just like, all right, there we go. So I think they never, unless I'm misremembering, they don't play any of her compositions. No, right? The only moment in the movie where, and I think there's a reason that this is the only moment in the movie it feels that way, but the only moment where there was music and I was like, oh, holy fuck, that's good. It was when she was watching the cellist audition with like that predatory fucking gleam in her eyes.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That was a great scene. And like, I don't know. I think that standalone communicates so much. I don't know. Like, I think I relate a lot to this movie. And I think it's just like, it's the frame. How am I putting this? The framework. So like Whiplash and Piano Teacher, I feel like it's, I hate doing this thing where I compare a movie to a couple of other movies, like it should have been this, but those movies I feel like I get more invested in because the center charismatic figure who is good at the thing that they do, you see a lot of them doing it and it's like demonstratively good, and then you see them do terrible shit.
Yes.
This is like, you just kind of watch her be terrible the whole movie, which is fine. And I love watching people be terrible. That's my favorite. But when the crux of it, it's not a believability thing for me. I'm not really sure. It just like...
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good point, and I hadn't thought about it, is that you don't get to see her do her thing that much compared to like a Whiplash or something. That's really interesting.
Or in a way that's as visceral,
Yeah. Yeah, you can see her conduct and rehearse the orchestra and stuff, but I mean,
especially because a lot of that's in German ? And that's like almost entirely going off of like just the way she's playing it.
Yeah,
and I mean acting wise, not music wise, but it is so much. Here's her concentrated being a fucker. That it's sort of like there's almost like a Greek tragedy element of it where there isn't much else happening in the movie other than her being a piece of shit. Yeah. And that's fine. And they really do make it work for 3 hours or whatever.
I also like her living in the most uncomfortable apartment ever, which looks extremely German and possibly is, but it's like concrete and right angles.
Yeah.
And surfaces you would never want to sit on. I thought that was pretty great.
Yeah.
Read very European. Also, can we talk about how, that scene where she threatens the kid, which is, I mean, if you weren't sure if this movie was a comedy, look no further than when she walks up to a 10-year-old and fucking like stares him down and nakedly
like, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. Fucking great scene. Yeah. All right, everybody. This has been
Wait, is that
Tar. Yeah, I think we're at 45.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot that we had to start a new recording because somebody, i.e. Zencastr, hates podcasting.
It's
and
true.
Podcasters.
But I do want to thank everybody for once again tuning into Talkin' Tar. As always, Talkin' Tar is brought to you by the moist, sweet, wet, and moist taste of Jiffy Brand corn muffin mix. Remember, Jiffy Brand corn muffin mix. If you don't get it, you're an asshole.
Excellent use of asshole.
Thank you.
I think that is maybe one of the funniest combinations of words to me, and it hits me every time.
I love it. It's been a go-to ass eating ass from NSB tweets. And every time people correct it, and I think I'm like, if you don't understand what I'm doing with this, that's not on me, but
that's engagement.
Like, that is engagement. Thank you.
Jory deploys a asshole better than anybody else I know. He's the unparalleled asshole champion.
I don't think I've heard him say it. I got to get him to say it.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's us talking about Tar. It was fun. If you listen to this whole thing, I don't know if you would want to see the movie.
You want to see the movie? Go see the movie. People who like this show, I think, will like it. And you know what? As always, if people don't like it, I'm interested to hear why. I actually have not seen any really negative reviews. I'm sure there are people that don't like it. I would be interested to hear.
They take some interesting angles.
Yes, and I can understand if for a lot of people, the ending, which by the way, ends up with her conducting an orchestra at like a Monster Hunter event, playing Monster Hunter music. I could see a lot of people getting to that point and just being like, what the fuck? And then getting mad. I think that I don't have that reaction. I thought it was great. But, I don't know. Your mileage may vary, right? Different opinions exist.
Watch Tar, but also watch Michael Haneke's The Piano Teacher and thank me later. That movie is so it's like it's a bad time. It got like this is like top 40 lists of most disturbing movies of all time. The Piano Teacher's probably on. Like it's not like it's violent or I get it's Haneke, so it's like a little. Anyway, great summer fun for the whole family.
Bye.
Jiffy Muffins.
Jiffy
Fuck
Muffins.
You.
Well, here we are.
We are here for another mini-sode.
So we did, in successive weeks, we did Talkin' Tor, and then we did Talkin' Tar.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking this week, Layden?
We're talking bar.
Talking bar. Okay, great.
Why not?
Those mixed drink recipes.
I wasn't prepared to follow through on this bit.
Well, now I'm going to make you.
Okay, great.
What's your favorite drink?
What's my favorite drink? A penicillin I love.
Right, like I remember
if
that.
I go somewhere and they have it on the menu, I will absolutely get it. It's scotch, lemon, and honey.
Yes.
And usually ginger in it. Very refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What's your favorite mixed drink?
Well, my go-to is the old-fashioned,
nice.
Which I make a good one of and enjoy drinking when they're well made. I also like, I mean, look, I enjoy a well-crafted cocktail. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like tiki drinks. I was going to say, I'm always a
good.
fan of tiki drinks. We have been to the Tiki Tea together and have enjoyed drinks there.
Yeah, it's probably more accurate that we've been within the vicinity of each other at Tiki Tea.
Yes, since you immediately left to go outside and talk to someone else, but that's fine.
Yes, yeah. I feel like my go-to is just like a whiskey sour, which generally getting them places that aren't like a nice bar, they're shit, but it's a shit that I enjoy.
Egg whites or no egg whites?
I don't care either way. It doesn't really make a difference to me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I enjoy them either way, but it's very funny when Jarek and Allison and Vern and I go places because all of us will get whiskey sours.
It's a good drink.
It is, and I forget who. It was probably Allison, but started calling them Weissaus. So you get a little time.
Oh, that's good.
Weissau.
Yep.
Yeah. What else do I like? I for a while I was getting like Makers and Coke, and it's just like there's there are variables there. It's not like what I
I can
want
think
when
of two.
Yeah, when I order a Makers and Coke, because like Jack Daniel, it's cooler to say I don't really like Jack Daniels very
Jack
much,
Daniels
but
sucks.
it's
It's
pretty,
just
it's
bad.
obnoxiously bad.
It is really bad. Yes,
Even when
absolutely.
you're smothering it with another flavor.
It's
But
terrible.
when I ordered, any sort of whiskey and Coke situation, in my mind, I want that like crispy McDonald's Coke. And what I get is flat Coke every
Flat
fucking
bar
time.
Coke. Yeah.
Flat bar Coke. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
I hate Jack Daniels. I would occasionally order a Jack and Coke, and it's like, why? It's
It's
no,
bad.
it is.
Memories of like being very jet lagged and getting a double Jack and
Oh
Coke.
God,
It was
no.
just like fucking awful.
My
The flattest,
go-to,
warmest Coke.
like easy mixed drink is a gin and tonic. It's
Gin and
refreshing.
tonic's,
It's cool.
yeah.
Used to drink them with Meowch before NSP twerp shows.
Aw.
Get some limes. It was in our rider. Get a nice mixable gin like a Bombay Sapphire.
Do you,
And
with your gins, do you like a botanical
I do not.
gin?
I
Okay.
like, I know it's mass produced, but I do like Hendrix. When I find the really like flowery stuff is not my cup of gin, I should say.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like I'm not, if I'm going to sip on something, it's not going to be a gin. It'll be a bourbon or a rye or something like that.
I think about the gin bar. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia that actually
Right.
fuck, internet comment etiquette is the bartender at that bar.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a place for them. I never really want that. Rachel's a big gin fan, and so I will frequently try different. I'll gift her bottles on holidays or whatever, and almost invariably they're like too flowery and botanical. And every once in a while,
It can feel like licking a soap dish.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I don't know, like I feel the same way about real like peaty scotches. It's like, it's too much flavor. There's too much going on here. And it's great that people like them, but typically I want something simpler.
Yeah, I think the first time I ever tried scotch, God, it was Allison giving me that scotch and cutting my hair in her bathroom. It was beautiful. But I was like, oh, this is like sucking on a charcoal briquette.
Yeah.
And since then I have, grown to enjoy it more, not like I'm drinking it straight up all the time. Is there a mixed drink that you wish you liked?
Well, I could be really anything super sweet, but I do like the tiki drinks.
The tiki drinks are just in another zone. It's like once you introduce coconut and pineapple, like all sins are forgotten.
Yeah. I mean, they're drinks that I don't wish I liked a fucking apple teeny or whatever. Those are just
sure
appalling. Let's see. I don't have a great answer to that. I'm never much of a vodka person, so any kind of vodka drink I will typically
well
avoid.
Also when somebody gives you vodka and is like, this is really good vodka, a good vodka doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's unfair. I'm sure somebody who is a big vodka head is going to come in and correct me, but like, the ideal thing is that you don't taste it, which is why that's what I drank in college, because you can just dump it in anything and
that's right.
Fucked up.
Now let's talk about getting fucked up in college. So I believe we have talked. Hold
on. I asked a very specific question to you that I actually had an answer for.
Oh, yes. Let's hear it.
Normally when I ask other people questions that are, I have come up with a thing and I'm asking you, I almost never am thinking about it. Like, I just want to say what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking wish I liked a martini, because
I love a martini.
The potential of like a extremely dirty martini sounds good to me. And every time I've drank one, I've just been like, this is fucking miserable.
Oh, I love it. Now, I will say that I learned recently, within the last few years, what I consider the secret of a good martini, which is the way. So my favorite martini I've ever had, they make at the wonderful Musso and Frank restaurant here in Los Angeles, California.
I gotta go there. I've never been.
We gotta go there. It's Rachel's favorite too. That would be a fun adult hangout. They make the best martini, and what it is it's I will always order a gin martini rather than a vodka martini. And it's the gin of choice. I usually go Hendrick's. And then it's 3 parts gin to 1 part Lillet Blanc, which is like, it's sort of like is it a sweet wine? I don't know what the fuck it is. It's some kind of aromatic, I think. And it's, so when I would make martinis in the past, it'd be like a drizzle of vermouth and then not much more. But it always was variable. Like, it was basically just gin. When you mix the Lillet in, it's fucking perfect. So that's and I looked up like, well, why are their martinis so good? It's because their recipe is 3 parts gin to 1 part Lillet Blanc. And it rules. It's so good.
Wow. That's very interesting. I'm thinking of, this is like barely related just in terms of bars. I always forget if it's called Babyface or Angel Face in Portland.
I don't know it.
Because their deal is just kind of go in and you describe what you want and they'll make you like a mystery cocktail. It was pretty cute. Fun. I hate Portland though, so probably not going back.
You hate Portland? I didn't know you hated Portland.
Have we not talked about how much I hate Portland?
Maybe we have, but I don't remember.
I had a job there.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right.
That wasn't great. But beyond me not, that job being a bad time, like I spent a good bit of time there and I was like, I should like this place. And for some reason I hate it. I know like everybody we know are big Portland heads, but
I like Portland.
Portis heads, if you will.
I mean, what Portland has that no other place has is simple. Then that is Powell's Books, which is...
It's true. It's very true.
The best. I'm looking through a list of like classic cocktails, and honestly, I like them pretty much all. I won't drink. By the way, I'm happy to see Negronis like coming back. Like, I love a Negroni, and they're very easy to make, and they seem to be very popular. Was it on some show or something that there was a particular type of Negroni that someone was ordering? Was it a TikTok thing? I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Wait a second. Was it? So I have neighbors who I'm friends with who are bartenders and have been like bartending for fucking ever. And they were talking about, it was like Stanley Tucci potentially.
Yes, with Prosecco.
Yes, and they were like, fuck, like, we hate that guy because that's not how you do it, and now everybody thinks that's how you do it.
I believe it's it's a Negroni Sbagliato with Prosecco or something like that. I might be saying the Sbagliato word. Let's see. I bet this is going to autocomplete. What do we think? Yes, it did autocomplete. Yeah, Sbagliato. I don't know what Sbagliato means. Where did this come from? Why are people obsessed with this? Oh, you can get it on a hat. That's fun. Who wouldn't want that?
Neat. I love a Moscow Mule.
TikTok cocktail. Yeah.
I love a Dark and Stormy. Both of those are variable based on the ginger beer, and it's always
100%.
I always want to ask, like, what fucking ginger beer are you using?
Why would you call it a TikTok cocktail and not a TikTok tail?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. Please continue.
Do you remember when everybody was all about Aperol spritzes for a bit?
Oh my God, yes.
When that happened, I was on a date to Little Dom's, and we were both
right next to Little Subs.
Good.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. But we were like, what's the deal? Everybody here is drinking an Aperol spritz. We have to try it. And we got one.
It's not good.
We both drank it and we're like, what the fuck?
Not a good drink. Nope.
My date was like looking at the waiter and was like, seriously? This is what
I feel the
losing their minds over?
Same way about a Pimm's cup. Have you ever had a Pimm's cup?
I've never had it, but I remember it was one of the few cocktails that I knew as a kid, because in the Ricky Gervais film Ghost Town,
actually a movie I like.
I thought it was fun. Fuck, who is it? It's the other guy in it. He orders a Pimm's cup.
Let's see who's in that. It's Téa Leoni. It's Greg Kinnear, right?
Okay, thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah, he orders a Pimm's cup,
right? Isn't it Greg
Ricky
Kinnear?
Gervais gives some shit about it. Also, Alan Ruck is in that movie.
Yes, and so is Jeff Hiller, who's very funny. Bunch of people are in that movie.
Yeah. I as a young atheist, what's funny is my mom was the one who loved Ricky Gervais, but she's like incredibly Catholic. And I think she just had to overcome her atheist hatred just because she thought Ricky Gervais is funny, which
Wait, is he an atheist? He is. He's one of those guys where I'm like, you're making us look bad, dude. Calm the fuck down. Calm down with it. Literally nobody cares. Like, nobody cares that you're an atheist. Just
I don't like it when Christians are, talking about being Christian all the time. I don't want my atheists, my fellow atheists, to do the same shit. It's obnoxious.
Well, especially when the implied messaging, even if he doesn't say this explicitly, but the implied message is, look how much smarter I am than you. Like, anyone who's not an atheist is a big old dummy. And that is just A, dumb, and B, counterproductive.
Have we talked about Extras?
I don't think so, but I frequently rewatch the scene with David Bowie in the bar.
Oh, I don't even know that particular. I feel like
Oh, it's good.
I remember torrenting Extras when I was in like middle school, early high school, and just like being obsessed with it. It was mainly I was thirst watching for Stephen Merchant, which is
he's so great.
Thirst watching for Stephen Merchant is a special kind of whatever all of us obsessed with Portal 2 Wheatley were on. It was that.
He's great. He's so I like Stephen Merchant a lot. There's the things I remember from Extras were like here and there. It was the him in Patrick Stewart's trailer. Do you remember this?
They've already seen everything.
Her clothes just fall off. They just fall off.
Yeah, that's a classic. I love Kate Winslet.
Yep.
Giving dick sucking advice in a nun costume.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe with the condom dressed as a Boy Scout.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the show. I think I tried giving it another watch like in the past 5 years, and it's just like insufferable, like problematic.
Yeah.
And normally I'm not like, I'm not going to consume media because it's problematic. But it was just like, when the comedy is all about problematic shit, and it's Ricky Gervais, it's just hard.
Hasn't aged well. The David Bowie scene is pretty great. They're in like a VIP section of a bar, and he calls David Bowie over, or vice versa. I can't remember. And there's a piano, and basically David Bowie makes up a song about how pathetic Ricky Gervais' character is. It's, it's great. And it's David Bowie. You can watch anything with David Bowie. It's always amazing. Yeah. I haven't rewatched The British Office for a long time either. So I'm curious if that would still seem... when that fucking came out, you were probably 4 or something.
Probably. My parents loved it.
All my friends were just like obsessed with it. I had a buddy in my band who learned the whole... Do you remember the dance Ricky Gervais does? Where what does he call it? It's like a mashup between MC Hammer and disco or something. What?
I vaguely remember this.
Well, he learned that whole dance and could do it on command.
That's precious.
But yeah, I wonder if that holds up. Although I agree with the people who say the American version is better.
Yeah.
Or more fully realized than the British.
Certainly. We were just recording. We mentioned The Wire. Have you watched The Wire?
Yeah, years ago. I mean, it's probably been 15 years ish since I've seen it. But gotcha. Yeah, I watched all The Wire, and The Wire now is the kind of thing where I have very few memories of what happened in The Wire, but I remember the actors, of course. Right. Idris Elba being the most prominent. Like that's Idris the first Elba place I saw him.
Being so hot, it's unreal,
and just great. Like,
yeah, he's amazing. Everybody on the show is just acting their hearts out. The guy who plays Omar is amazing.
Yeah, Michael K. Williams, R.I.P. Everybody's great, and those guys always show up and shit all the time. And in fact, Chad L. Coleman, who plays Cuddy, who you may not have seen yet, although I can't remember when he shows up. He's on Always Sunny and I've been rewatching that, and he shows up a bunch. Yeah, he's one of like Frank's buddies.
Yeah, it's I love McNulty. He the way I describe the way that Dominic West looks is that he looks like every piece of Supernatural Castiel fan art come to life. Somebody tell me I'm wrong on this. Like, do one Google.
You know what? I'll do this right now. Okay, spell that. Supernatural. I got that.
Supernatural Castiel Tumblr
that.
fan art.
I don't know how to.
It's Castiel.
What does that mean?
That's his name.
That's a character?
That's Misha Collins' character.
Okay, fan art.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Just...
Yep. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. There's just like a certain like visual shorthand with how people draw him that it's like, yeah, McNulty's got... He just has such prominent like lines on his face.
Yeah.
It's great. You love to see it.
I just love that gave a set of, I don't know, 30 character actors careers for the rest of their lives. That
Seriously.
Show. Amy Ryan, who shows up, I believe, in season 2.
She literally just showed up for me.
Incredible, right?
Yeah.
It's so many awesome people. Fuck. Who else? There's Michael B. Jordan, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think I met him.
Baby yet. Michael B. Jordan, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, he's one of the kids.
Oh man,
I think so. Yeah. I could be wrong. I thought that was the case. I haven't seen it in forever.
It's just so well written. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's great, and that was one of those like, prestige HBO things. That was I remember that when it was contemporaneous with The Sopranos. It was right.
I believe
around at the same time. Yeah.
So I think The Wire might have been on a little longer. The passage of time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were on at the same time. Yeah, it's great. I got to rewatch it. It's been a really, really long time. I'm now going. I mentioned this on a recent episode, although maybe that hasn't come out yet. I've been rewatching the Larry Sanders Show on HBO, and oh my god, it's it's some slow going, but it has 2 incredible performances by actors who may not be the best people as human beings, but the performances are like unparalleled. I'm talking about
who's in it.
The 2 Gary Shandling, of course, created it. There are a lot of great people in it: Janine Garofalo, Scott Thompson, Bob Odenkirk, Penny Johnson-Gerald. Of course, my favorite actor of all time, Jeremy Piven, is in it. Cool guy, cool vibes. Just love him. Would like to hang out with him. Seems fun, that kind of guy. Very, very just chill. That's how I describe Jeremy Piven. But specifically, the 2 I'm talking about are Jeffrey Tambor and Rip Torn, who are seems like they don't behave well, but they do a great job in the show.
Is Rip Torn dead?
He is.
Okay. Well, rest in piss then.
Yes.
I was gonna.
Sorry.
I was gonna say. Speaking of shows that are slow moving, I feel like once I'm done with The Wire, I gotta do a Mad Men rewatch.
Yeah, I haven't watched it since it was on.
That's mini fodder.
Loved it at the time. I think I agree with that. I would rewatch Mad Men for sure.
Jory's a big Mad Men head.
Yeah, well, he's like the original Don Draper.
That mental image is so funny. I can't take it.
When the hat and the tie, the skinny tie. That's what the money is for.
That was a fucking perfect Jory.
Thank you.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that show was definitely, I felt very sophisticated watching it as a teen when it was still coming on. I remember watching that finale and being upset that he didn't take a ride on the sewer slide like the theme song, the title credits.
Yeah, I mean, again, amazing actors. Like great people. Robert Morse as Cooper.
The
old man.
So great.
And he was like, so the casting there was interesting because Robert Morse made his name as the lead in the musical How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying on both stage
Oh.
and screen. So that's a little bit of a nod to this guy who was in a very popular movie and play musical about like executives in the 60s.
Wow.
Yep. And
That's
then he's
nice.
the old man in that one. Yeah.
Also, Jared Harris.
Amazing as always.
So good. And I think the culmination of his arc is like maybe one of the more emotionally gutting moments in television for me. Like it's up there, along with certain events at the end of season 5 of The Sopranos,
which I haven't seen.
Which you haven't seen. Yeah, it's just that episode where shit happens to him is very affecting, especially because they sort of set up like a series of punchlines to it.
Yes.
Woof.
Yeah. Yes, let's rewatch that. And we can do without fucking Jory.
Man,
the original
I don't
Don
do anything
Draper.
Without Jory. Yeah, man, television. It's so good. And like the only I'm just like surviving right now mentally, and I just get into my little bed and I watch a little bit of The Wire and I just love it. Oh, I was watching Andre Royo, who plays Bubbles.
Bubbles, yes. He's great.
He did like Amoeba, What's in My Bag.
Oh, nice.
It was adorable. He was like picking up Bon Iver for his 14-year-old daughter.
Aw. Yeah, just one of the characters in the show where you're like, that guy's awesome.
Yeah, and also he just talks like that.
Right, that's right. Every time, every character he's ever played talks like that, which is great because it's very compelling and fun. Yep. What was I've been TV wise, what was I gonna ask you about something. It wasn't Larry Sanders. I can't even remember anymore. Oh, this is what I was gonna ask you about. Have you seen Glengarry Glen Ross ever?
No, I haven't.
Because here's my question. Does anyone care about it anymore? Like, I don't know. It's just like dick swinging energy for.
I think it has the one scene, and that single scene that has contributed to the cultural conversation is continually referenced and is the only thing that I really know about that movie.
Well, that's part of my question is like, it's this like very famous play and movie, and yet I had forgotten basically everything about it except that one scene and was rewatching it recently. And also Alec Baldwin getting a very prominent credit for 3 minutes of screen time or something.
Yeah, but that's the only 3 minutes of that movie anybody cares about.
And he's great in it. Again, what a fucking cool guy. Just like, he seems awesome. Chill, kind, just everything you could want.
And you know what? He's so fucking good on 30 Rock. The work that he put in on 30 Rock, like one of the more compelling, and it for like a non-drama too.
I know,
for Jack Donaghy to be such an incredible character the entire run.
He's one of the all-time great sitcom characters, unambiguously.
Yeah,
like maybe not the best guy.
Yeah,
but
I think the last time I was thinking about Glengarry Glen Ross was I was listening to Bill Hader on NPR talking about Barry, and he picks that monologue to do, and he's doing
the Alec Baldwin one.
Yeah, he's doing that, but in the way that Barry would do it. And he was talking about how they were picking monologues for that. They were like, we need something that is just so completely opposite of Barry that he's going to completely misinterpret and fuck up.
So Rachel was just telling me about that might be a reference to an old Second City sketch where apparently it's like an audition, and this girl walks in, she's like, hi. And they're like, okay, here, let's look over your CV. So it looks like you've been Laura in the Glass Menagerie. Yeah. and then you did a dinner theater production as Laura in The Glass Menagerie. Uh-huh. And then you did a touring production of The Glass Menagerie as Laura. Yeah, that's right. Now you realize this is a play about a bunch of guys in a real estate office. And she's like auditioning for the Alec Baldwin part in that or something. I've never seen this sketch, but Rachel was telling me about it.
Is so that
maybe it's that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
This woman who has only played Laura in The Glass Menagerie auditioning for one of the real estate assholes in Glengarry Glen Ross.
Did you ever see the Kevin Spacey movie Swimming with Sharks? That movie's awful. It's really bad. And for some reason, I've seen it twice in my life.
Is it like, are they like businessmen or something?
It's like Kevin Spacey is playing a director, producer, ? And he has a personal assistant. And
it's out now. Wait, is there a separate
there's a remake. There was a remake with women. I forgot about this.
Oh.
Maybe that version's good. I don't know.
Well, here it is. I see Kevin Spacey, Frank Whaley, Benicio del Toro, Michelle Forbes. Okay.
It's a bad movie. I don't know. I guess I mentally class it with Glengarry for some reason.
Yeah, it's about the same time, right? A couple years later. Box office, or budget, $700,000. Box office, $382,000. Ooh. Oof. Not good.
Yeah, it wasn't good either. It has one of the like dumbest third act turns. It's very, very stupid, but it's also like Kevin Spacey at peak. I am an abusive asshole. So there's a bit more uncomfortableness watching it in present day.
Yeah. Well, it's for whatever reason, and I don't know why, a bunch of stuff I've watched recently has all been early 90s or like early 90s dramas. Although I guess, yeah, I mean, that's the high point of American culture. So I guess Larry Sanders is not a drama, but it was like, I think it started in 92, and then Glengarry Glen Ross. I actually just rewatched My Cousin Vinny, which fucking rules. Oh my God, it's so great. What a
I haven't seen it in forever, but
what a great movie. It is. Yeah, someone was pointing out recently, there are very few big budget comedies anymore. Live action movie comedies. I think Bros, which I talked about recently and I really liked, is one of the few recent comedies that has come out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last ones I've seen in theaters, and I think the last one that made it so I just refused to see any other ones was Office Christmas Party. God, it was bad.
I don't remember that.
Jason Bateman's in it. I think.
Oh, it sounds like something Jason Bateman would be in. Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Is it him? It could also be some other guy.
Some movie called Office Christmas Party.
Very bad, right? And then before that, I mean, like, in terms of ones that I saw in theaters that I liked in the past,
is in it. Yes.
Honestly, the Dark Horse unexpected ones were 21 and 22 Jump Street. Really,
those are solid fucking movies.
Those movies are great, and especially going into that first one, just like I got dragged to it, zero expectations. They're really fucking funny.
Talk about, I mean, I think those are the classic examples of movies that are much better than they have any right to be. Right to be. Why are they so good? So funny.
Channing Tatum is hilarious, and he just needs to like let him be funny, and he does great.
You know what he also is great in? Have you seen Hail Caesar?
No, I haven't. Is that a Coen Brothers movie?
It is, and I was thinking about this the other day. It's strong contender for maybe my favorite Coen Brothers.
Really?
It is fucking great, and only keeps getting better. But Channing Tatum, there's a little musical scene that he's in where he plays a sailor, and they sing a song called No Dames. And the song is just like a pitch perfect version of like that kind of Rodgers and Hammerstein, South Pacific-y sort of song. And he is incredible in it. You know what? Here, I'm going to send you a clip. Let's see if I can find this. We're going to watch this together.
You know, he really looks like if a brick had a wish to be a real boy.
Yes, absolutely. Is this it? Yeah, here it is. Oh, wait. Nope. That starts in the middle. We don't want that. Okay, here we go. I'm going to send this to you. I want you to watch this. I love this song, too. All right, tell me when you're ready.
I am at 0.
And 3, 2, 1, play. It's real long, but we won't watch the whole thing. So they're in a bar called the Swingin' Dinghy.
The Swingin' Dinghy is closing, folks. Time for me to clean up. Time for you to clear out.
So long, fellas. See you in 8 months.
Later, boys.
8 months?
Yeah, we're shipping out in the morning.
Golly, 8 months without a dame.
Can you
there he is.
I have to beat it.
We are heading out to sea, and however it'll be, it ain't gonna be the same. 'Cause no matter what we see when we're out there on the sea, we ain't gonna see a dame. We'll be searching high and low on the deck and down below.
I love this scene so much.
Wow.
Oh, we'll see a lot of fish, but we'll never clock a dish. We ain't gonna see a dame. No day.
We might see some octopuses.
No day.
Or a half a dozen clams.
Or a half a dozen clams is my favorite line of this.
Even see a mermaid.
But mermaids got no gams. No gams.
Beautiful.
Okay, hold on. Just 1 second. I want you to skip to
Channing Tatum doing tap. Fucking amazing.
skip to 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the nose.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, play.
On it.
Where's the scene? Or the move? Here we go. This. His face over that guy's butt is just awesome. Anyway, I love Hail
That's
Caesar.
very fun.
It's got everybody, Tilda Swinton, Josh Brolin, all the Coen Brothers people. It's fucking awesome.
Shit. I've got to watch that. It's
really, really good.
Whenever I start watching movies again, God knows when that'll be.
Well, you got to finish The Wire.
Span returns from war.
Cool. I think that's a good place to stop. It feels great.
Yeah, this is fun. Folks, we have like these 2 weeks, it's back-to-back fucking bangers. Right?
There are some really great episodes, and what I like in particular is they are with guests that are solidly outside my wheelhouse, but solidly inside yours, which I think is great. I love it. I mean, that's why there's 2 different people hosting the show.
Yes, indeed. And I've really gotten into it with both of these guests, who I'm a big fan of both of them.
Yep.
It's been pretty adorable.
Yeah.
It's
great.
Folks, if you, God damn, my fucking throat. That was not what I was going to say. What I was going to say was we need clips for the best of 2022. Literally, let's crowdsource this shit. Let's
we need help.
Work together. We need help. We need bits, extended bits, like minutes long, so we can edit them together into an episode that is roughly an episode length. So if you think back on the past year of Late Night conversations that you enjoyed or whatever, it would be a big help if you tell us what you liked, because I don't know what people like, and also I don't remember shit from the past year.
Yeah, why would you?
Why would I? As discussed on one of these episodes that comes out, I go into a full fugue state. Whatever we talk about, by the time I get the episode to do the notes, I'm like, I don't even remember what we talked about. And now I have to listen to it to remember what we talked about.
Yep. Living the dream. All right, bye.
All right, see ya.
This is Brian talking to you from the present day, which is April 2023. We do not need clips anymore from the best of 2022. That was months ago. But thank you to everybody who submitted them. Bye.